Hi.
Hey,
Hey.
everybody.
Haze. Thank you for coming into Mean Girls Interrupted.
The movie review and recap podcast that your mom warned you about.
Yeah, and it's here on the internet, Travis.
It is.
I'm John.
I'm Travis.
And yeah. So I noticed something in our recording and it's happening again.
Oh, no.
There's this desk on which I'm recording
Yeah, at which you sit.
at which I sit. And it's whenever I talk, it's like it's held in by like these tension rods,
Oh,
not to be confused with sounding rods.
oh,
But
I know those are the same because
it
seeing somebody do that gives me
causes
tension.
tension. Yeah, but this it is creating like a reverb effect, like a tingy reverb
Oh,
effect,
I can't
which
hear it.
it picks up in the recording. It's
It
crazy.
does?
Yeah, it's so annoying. I have to find a solution. So
Oh,
if that's been annoying anybody listening, sorry about it. That's my bad, and it is not solved currently. So deal with it until I need to get like a pad or something for this thing.
oh, I'll buy you one.
Oh,
I'll find a fancy one.
no, no, I have one actually over there. I'm just too
Oh,
lazy to go get it.
oh, dang it.
So, but hey Travis,
Hey, John.
what are we talking about today? I forgot
Okay,
what.
so everybody, the movie we're talking about this week it's a bit older. We do have one coming up that's going to be very fun. Maybe I haven't watched it.
So new. It is fun. I watched it.
Yeah, okay, so John watched this movie that we're going to do next, and it is
Yeah.
called The Substance, starring Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley. It's Qualley,
Yeah.
yes.
Quali?
I think I heard somebody pronounce it Quayle, which was really crazy because I was like, "Am I mistaken?"
Like,
Um,
I'm pretty sure I know how to read good. And
yeah, but apparently pronunciation's not my thing. But we're not talking about The Substance this week. That's
yeah.
next week. So if you haven't watched it, it is like for me, it might not be here this
Yeah.
weekend because it's like
Just to avoid any like spoilers or whatever, just go out and watch it before next week's episode so we can get all excited.
yes, because we
Because
are doing that
I've
next
already
week.
seen it.
I have not, but I am going.
I
And
cannot wait to discuss it with you, Travis.
I kind of, John, I kind of like, I'm so excited to see this, and I have been.
Yeah. It's
So
I think
this Sunday I'm going.
it's right up our alley.
Oh, hell yes. I love to hear that. But
And
this week,
so few things are up our alley, Travis.
you know,
We're nice.
we are nice.
But
You
it's
know what
rare
I
that
was
there's one of those things where it's like, oh my God. But we've had a few that we've even discussed here. I think it's been a pretty good year or two or three for movies.
John, we're coming up on how many years doing this?
Um, let's see.
I kind of can't remember when
Two.
we is it two? We've
Mhm.
already passed two, haven't we? Because this is going to be our third Halloween.
Oh, right. So this will be our, I think I don't
We're
know.
working into our third year because this is our third. In October, all we do are horror movies. So if you guys are a
Yeah.
fan of horror movies, this year you're probably not getting 2 episodes a week. I'm
Oh
sorry, it's not
no,
happening.
we are overloaded. We have so many loads to
There's so many all positive.
all of them. They're pretty positive loads that we are more than happy to bear the brunt of.
Yes,
But that does mean that only we're not doing our Halloween double feature this year.
not this year. I'm so sorry. But speaking of horror movies, this one
Yeah,
isn't. I don't. The movie we're talking about is you probably read it in the title. Um,
A
A
Quiet
Quiet Place,
Place
Day
part.
One.
Oh, I was gonna say part one. It is day one. Yes.
Day one. I wouldn't really call this a horror, though, in my opinion. I would call it suspense more than anything.
a science fiction.
Yeah, I think they would probably call it suspense, but for me, John, for you,
Yeah.
did you find yourself in like a position where you were like, "Ooh, suspense."
No, never, not
Okay.
once. Even though I could recognize that that's what they wanted me to feel, but I won't be
Yeah.
gaslit into feeling a certain way if I'm not feeling it.
They
You know what I
even
mean?
tried. I know what you mean because here's the thing. They tried a jump scare and John, it flopped.
Every time.
The jump scare that I remember specifically. Well,
Was it whenever he was on the little rafter thing?
I'm not certain, possibly.
Because
I
like,
know that there was one specific moment where it was like, ooh, it was like in your face.
yeah,
And I just was like, oh,
you're like, womp. Nope.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just like I think it's more of just like a character drama that exists and that exists in the Quiet Place world.
yeah.
And this same story could have been plucked and plopped into any other world.
There was more talking in this one. It wasn't that quiet.
There was no, it wasn't very quiet at all. There was a lot of talking. And they had clever ways of like
They
skirting
did.
around certain
They
things.
did. They
Yeah.
did had good elements of being like, okay, we can get away with it in this moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So A Quiet Place, day one, it does star Lupita Nyong'o, who's
Love,
gorge. And
always.
she obviously is a super famous actress. And this also co-stars Joseph Quinn, who plays Eric. Um, and also there's a little cameo from Jaimin Hansu, who's from A Quiet Place Part Two.
Yep. I was like the same person.
Yeah, I
I
guess they
do like
ride
the
off to an
tie-in.
island.
I
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
tie-in.
Connecting the worlds together. Did we need it? Probably not.
No, but I do appreciate that because
Cohesion.
otherwise this
Yeah.
movie would have been like, well, what's it for?
Yeah, yeah. And you can't really have like John Krasinski and Emily Blunt showing up
No.
uh in New York City. Which this takes place.
Yes.
This was directed by Markle.
Megan?
uh, Michael Sarnowski, and it was produced by none other than John Krasinski and Michael Bay.
Sure.
Yeah,
I you oh my god. I did not know Michael Bay helped
was
produce this,
involved.
but
Yeah.
here's how I knew. When you say this, it all makes sense. The first car exploding when everything falls, that car that gets launched and it explodes.
Yeah, you're like, this seems like a Michael Bay joint.
No, I really was like, that would never happen.
Yeah,
Like,
like okay. Like they have to elevate it because they have to justify the $67 million budget somehow, Travis.
oh,
Yeah,
this,
it didn't need to happen. Did not need to happen.
I mean, honestly, 67 million, it seems
Excessive.
kind of.
Yeah. So and but it did gross $261.5 million worldwide.
That's not shocking, actually.
No, yeah, A Quiet Place is a cash cow for sure.
It's at this point, it's a very successful franchise.
It is. And you know what I really don't like seeing whenever I look into horror movies?
Um, Tell me.
A PG-13 rating.
Right. You guys, if you've been here long enough to know, we hate a PG-13 horror,
Yeah, because it's like clearly just to get the masses to show up.
which the masses are going to show up anyway.
Yeah, but as soon as you see like a preview and it ends with a PG-13 rating, my first thought is, oh, so this isn't going to be good.
It
So
was made for children.
it's made for children, has children like elements. It will have people in peril, but you will never see the blood or the gore or the guts. And
No,
it'll be the safest horror movie that you'll ever see.
you can take your date to the horror movie. What's going
Yeah.
to happen is when you go to a PG-13 horror, you're going to go hold hands.
Yeah, it's and also you're going to be thinking about making out you're going to think about wanting to make out the entire time.
That's it. You're not going because you're like, this isn't a Netflix and chill situation.
Yeah, you're not here for the Lupita Nyong'o ness.
No, you're here to get to the foreplay.
Yeah, you're here. There's a slight romance in this movie.
I would say less of a romance and more of like this
A
connection.
bond.
I would say a bond.
A thruple between Lupita Nyong'o,
Eric
Eric,
and a cat.
and a cat. Yes. That's right. We said it. A
Yeah,
cat.
a cat, everyone.
Get PETA on the phone. It's crazy.
This movie's, I don't even know how it's PG-13 with a cat involved.
I know. It's wild.
What has this
Uh,
world become?
I don't know. I'm sure Richard Gere is happy about it.
I mean,
No. Anyway, Travis,
allegedly,
allegedly. Um, so Travis,
John.
uh, a quiet place to set just to tell you the story
Yeah.
of a quiet place.
Yeah, tell us.
Are you ready for a little bedtime story called A Quiet Place?
Day one?
Day one, because I'm going to give it to you.
Okay, I'm here. I'm ready.
Okay. So, how does it start?
Okay,
Right.
so it starts like this. So I'll tell you, it starts at a hospice center where we meet two
Right.
characters,
Right.
Lupita Nyong'o's character and somebody who is toast like so fast. So who
Yeah.
cares what his name is? And he's like, "Hey, can you tell us a poem?" And Lupita's like, "This place is shit. George over there looks like shit. Deborah has a shit attitude, and it's a work in progress." Because backstory, Lupita's character is a poet, and she is currently passing away from a cancer diagnosis. So it starts in
Yeah.
hospice.
So she's in hospice with a bunch of other dying people, not having it.
No, she is not. But I will say that poem, it was very good.
Yeah. And she's angry. She's a little nasty, a little callous, a little rough around the edges, and who wouldn't be?
Right.
She has no will to keep on going. But she does have a cat
And a fentanyl patch.
and a fentanyl patch. I was like, ooh, sell those on the black market,
I
babes.
mean, truthfully,
We don't
listen,
condone
we
drug
don't.
use of
I'll
any
tell you
kind.
right now, when I was in the hospital, John, and they gave me fentanyl,
Oh, that's
they
right.
give you hospital fentanyl.
Yeah,
John, I don't even know where I was transported to.
really.
I have no idea.
Oh, you know, similarly,
I don't remember them putting that tube through my ribs. Spoiler alert, everyone. Fentanyl, you don't feel shit,
yeah, and
but I don't recommend it,
people are doing that on the street.
which is crazy.
It's crazy.
Don't. I'm going to say right here, listen, I'm not your mother or your father, but I can be mother if you'd like me to.
And
But
mama says no to drugs.
don't do it.
Don't do
Save
it.
yourself.
It might feel good right now, but whenever you're your ass up in a gutter taking loads for fentanyl,
There's people who do that for free.
yeah, you're gonna regret it.
You are going to
Um,
regret it.
but I mean, Lupita, she needs it because she's
She does need it.
dying of cancer.
Yes, and the
Um,
hospital did prescribe it, I'm sure.
yeah. So she slaps on her fentanyl patch because she's going to the city.
Yep.
So she's on the hospice bus and she is being taken to a puppet show, which she has agreed to go to as long as they can make a stop in Harlem for a slice
Pizza.
of pizza.
Which can you
And
blame her?
no, because I've had New York pizza. You've had New York pizza.
Yes.
It's really good.
It actually is. See, people, okay, I want you guys to.
It's just me like the rats crawling all over the ingredients that makes it
It really is.
delicious.
Yes. We're going to start an argument here for all of you out there. New York pizza is superior to Chicago. Like, I'm sorry, Chicago style can.
Okay, so not firsthand knowledge of this, but Dax, who by the way was watching this with me, and whenever she said Harlem and pizza, he knew exactly the establishment she wanted to go to.
He did?
Yeah.
It's a
like,
real place?
wasn't it like Patty's or something like that?
Yeah, something like
Patsy's
that.
or
Patsy's.
something like some with a P. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a real place and they are known for their pizza.
Wow.
And but he thought it was kind of crazy because it's like you can get just as good pizza like anywhere else. Like you don't have to like brave the perils of an apocalypse to just go to that one. But anyway, but yeah, so he was recently in Chicago and had a Chicago deep dish for the first time. And he was digging the fillings.
Oh.
But crust was strange.
No, I want to be able to fold my pizza.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want to fold it when I eat it because it makes it
Also,
easier.
yeah, and it's the type there most times where you have to kind of like dab it with the napkin.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
always the best.
You can't go wrong. Oh, anyway,
Yeah,
I just got
anywho's it.
lost in pizza.
So
So
we get it. We get Lupita's need for the pizza.
yeah,
And I get it. And I love like the simple emotional, like it's kind of like high stakes pizza.
it is high stakes pizza.
Because
They should
she's
have
a
called this movie High Stakes Pizza.
yeah. Because she's gonna die. And it's like it could be the last piece of happiness and joy
Yep.
that she feels in this life.
Yep.
Which I thought was that was good storytelling.
It is because she's already on her way out. So she's like, you want to know what? If the
Yeah.
last thing I get is a good slice, then call me
Yeah.
good.
Like part these stormy clouds weighing over my head just for a little slice of sunshine and college pizza.
And I'm sure it would have been delicious. But
Yeah.
so
Uh
Lupita is at a
yeah.
marionette show.
Yeah, yeah, yes, she is.
They end up at a marionette show, this puppet show.
And it's needless to say, without going into the details of the puppet show,
Yeah,
it's it's too much for her to handle.
she
She's
can't
got
handle it.
she's got to go take a break. it's,
John,
it's a sad puppet show.
it was actually super relatable because I would have been like, I gotta get out
I was like, you brought me all the way here to
to
shove
bring me down.
to shove reality in my face. I don't
Yeah,
think
this is what
so.
we're doing.
Like, oh, what a fun time.
Yeah,
Anyway, so she has to take a step out. By the way, uh, Pussy's with her all the way.
yeah, she has her cat with her.
Yeah. And she steps outside and she's kind of caught by the nurse guy and he's like, "Where are you going?" And she's like, "Dude, I just want to go get some pizza." And he's like, "Well, something's like happening apparently and we got to get like on the bus and go. Sorry, no pizza." And she's like gets insanely mad.
Which rightfully so, because he did convince her to go out for pizza and she wasn't going to go anyway.
Yeah, she's like, "I have a fentanyl patch on."
I left my bed
Yeah.
for marionettes.
Yeah, and this sucks and I'm gonna get some pizza. But and then she hurls an insult at him and then she gets back on the bus and then the world ends.
Yep, she gets back on the bus.
Yeah, the she gets back on the bus and these comets start to fall from the sky and destroy everything.
Yes.
And she is suddenly in the throes of an apocalypse. It's very 9/11 imagery, which I'm like, why are you guys going to go there? Why are you guys doing that to us here on this day?
They had to.
Yeah, it's like they're like disaster that takes place in New York City. We have to do 9/11 imagery and scar everyone again. So that's what they did. And she's like in the haze of a bunch of dust and she starts to witness all these strange aliens that we have come to know and love. The Quiet Place franchise are picking people off on the street
Yeah.
in very violent ways. And they all learn very quickly that they need to keep their GD mouths shut.
Yeah. Quit flapping your fucking gums, Brenda.
Yeah, that's how you get dead real quick. Number one rule, everybody gets it almost immediately. They have to be quiet. And so she reconvenes in the theater with the people, and she basically is
The
like,
puppet show is still going.
the puppet show is still going because they can't talk. They can only speak with puppets. I would have loved that if they went like a hard left into avant-garde cinema and just finished it out with just marionette puppets, like
Right.
Team America style.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Wait.
I wouldn't, it would have been so unexpected. I would have loved it.
That would have been cool.
Because I'm finding, Travis, that
Huh.
I'm really embracing these movies that are coming out where I'm like, oh, this is weird and doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, make it weird.
Make it not make sense. Because have you seen I Saw the TV Glow?
That was one that I wanted us to watch, but I haven't watched it yet.
Watch it. Honestly, anybody can miss it, no sweat. But if you do decide to watch it,
It looked interesting.
it is interesting, and it raises a lot of questions, answers none of them,
Oh, good.
and and
I'll answer those questions my damn
yeah,
self.
exactly. And then, but I watched it the same night that I watched The Substance,
Mm.
and I think The Substance like charged me up for that kind of a thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
The
I was like,
substance charged you up. Interesting.
I was like, okay, I can get. I think this is the way to go.
Okay.
Okay, anyway,
Oh,
so,
okay. So,
yeah, so things happen. They're holed up in this building, and they're kind of trying to like ride out the storm of the apocalypse. Days go by, months go by. I don't even know.
well, they're trying to be quiet, and then Lupita's cat runs away because cats be catting. And
Cats
so,
do be cat.
so cats be catting, and that cat jingles a marionette hat, which is
Mm.
somehow on the ground. Because I mean, it makes sense because people
Oh
have been
yeah.
dying. So it jingles a bell, and the creatures hear it, and some shit happens, and then some, and then it dies down a little bit.
It dies down a little bit, and then the electricity goes off,
Yes,
and
which triggers.
the backup generator, which is super loud and noisy and in the
Nobody
basement.
nobody likes a backup generator.
No, backup Jenny's no
Oh, I
Henny.
love backup Jenny, dude. It's
Backup Jenny. Oh my,
related to Jenny from the block.
yes, Jenny from the block. Oh my
Backup Jenny.
gosh. That needs to be a drag name.
Wait, I love backup Jenny. You guys can have it. John came up with it inadvertently, and you guys, that is our gift to you.
The world now has backup
Backup
Jenny,
Jenny.
who is welcome to the stage.
She has, honestly, she's certainly like, give it 5 years. Backup Jenny's going to be on RuPaul.
Yeah, and we'll know that you, Travis, and me, John,
No, John did it.
are on the internet doing these
We
things.
are. So backup Jenny starts screeching and squealing.
Yeah, screeching and squealing, and of course, Lupita and Nurse Guy are the first to arrive. They turn it off, but then his shirt gets caught on it, rips, and then he is taken out by one of the aliens.
Immediately, just snatched away.
Like it was right there the whole time. They couldn't even see it. Crazy.
Nope. That's
Crazy.
what they do. They hide in the shadows.
They come out of literally nowhere, which to an annoying degree.
Really, they do.
Yeah. I'm just like, wait, you didn't see that alien just sitting right there?
No,
Crazy.
it's not like they're camouflage either.
They're humongous and large.
But at nighttime, I guess, because they are dark and they do kind of lurk in the corners. So I will give them a break at nighttime.
For now. So yeah, so things happen where they need to get to, apparently on the radio waves or however they're getting their information, I forgot, water is something they don't like.
Helicopters. Helicopters are flying through the city, which are drawing the creatures towards the sound of the helicopter. And the helicopters are megaphoning to the people in the city, you need to get to this place.
Right. That's
the
how
boats
it goes.
are leaving. So while the helicopters are driving the creatures in an opposite direction so people can go and get on the boats.
Yeah.
Something. I just lost my train of thought.
Oh, I got it. I'm picking it right up. See, I'm on the train and we're going.
Oh, thank you so much. Because honestly, my train jumped the tracks.
That's cool. And it happens to the best of us. And so they're like, okay, we're gonna go. We're just gonna go. So Lupita and her cat, they start walking, and then more people start walking, and then even more people start walking on the same street. And she's
so
like,
many.
This isn't a good idea.
Nope.
If we know people, Travis, people be stupid.
People be walking and they're loud and they're making noises.
And if a lot of people together, it's bound to be trouble. So she's kind of locked in this gridlock.
But she's walking in the opposite direction at this point. She's like, this is bad news.
Yeah.
I'm going away from the crowd.
Yeah. And then something happens. The aliens converge on this mass and it's now like a massacre.
It literally, John, no joke.
It's a full-on massacre. And she loses track of her cat and finds safety. But where's Cat? Cat we start to follow Cat in the story.
We do follow
It,
Cat,
it
little
it's
Cat.
it's giving me like a what's that cat
Milo and
cartoon?
Otis.
Milo and Otis, a little bit Milo and Otis, or like what's that like Oliver Twist cat movie?
How about
Aristocats. We'll just say
yes,
it's giving cats, it's giving Aristocats,
it's
it's
giving
giving
Five
Milo.
Goes West.
Five Goes West, the way we follow this cat. And so and then the cat stops at the subway station entrance that is flooded, and this man comes to the surface. It's Eric, and he sees the cat, and the cat's like, hello. It might as well have just said hello.
Right. It was like, huh?
It's like, hey, follow me, basically. And then the cat leads Eric to Lupita, and they are now together.
They're now friends.
The way they anthropomorphize this cat and give it like magical, angelic majesty.
You mean jellicle magic?
It's a jellicle cat.
Is it a jellicle cat, John?
It's a jellicle cat that doesn't look as weird.
No, it looks way better.
It's a pretty cute cat.
They should have just called this movie Cats, and I would have believed it.
Yeah, or just cat.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Well,
really characterized this cat in this movie.
Which I appreciate though,
You
because
did?
I do like a cat.
It was very homeward bound as the cat with the third character.
John, it was Homeward Bound.
I mean, if that cat started like moving its mouth and have talking and speaking in a human voice, I would not have been surprised.
They could have in this movie. They could have.
Because they film this cat and show its face and give it intention. And its intention is to say, follow me, Eric. I will
Yeah.
lead you to safety.
Yep.
And it does.
Somebody needs to.
Yeah, because Eric is a mess.
Yeah, he is.
Eric is a mess, crippling anxiety, like full on panic attacks at the worst times.
I trust me. I can relate to Eric in that sense, girl.
Me
I would die so fast.
But I have like such survival instincts. I'm more Lupita.
Oh
Like
no,
in that situation, I would not crumble at all.
John. If my no joke, if my anxiety flared, which it
Yeah.
would, seeing the first creature, I would legit. I would probably die immediately.
Because you would have gasped a little too audibly. You're like,
Yes.
You would have clutched your pearls and they would have like jingled.
I would have been patient zero.
Yeah. And anyway, so they are now together, and like Lupita is walking north toward Harlem, and not south towards the South Street Seaport, which is a zoo.
I mean,
I'm just kidding.
is it?
Did you ever go to South Street Seaport?
I don't think I went there.
Oh, right, because I moved from Brooklyn to like a couple blocks away from South Street Seaport, and I was always going to South Street Seaport just to like see the vibe and like
Yeah.
experience New York. But
What
it's
was
like
the vibe?
it's such like a tourist trap. They have like water taxis and like that are playing loud music and stuff like that.
Oh
But
no.
but I mean, I remember reading the Da Vinci Code like on the pier,
Oh.
which was nice.
I did like Bushwick.
I didn't go to Bushwick. You went to Bushwick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is totally like trendy and awesome
I think it's
and
like
really
totally
expensive.
I think it's super gentrified now.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, and so was Flatbush.
Is it? Flatbush is
Yeah,
too?
crazy. I was paying $1,200 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment.
John, I remember that place was big.
It was big.
Your apartment was big. I was
It
like,
was-
bitch, this is a full house.
It's a full house with 2 living rooms.
It did have 2 living rooms. John, I cannot believe that you were only paying $1,200 a month for that.
How much do you think that shit is worth now? It being a fully
Easy.
gentrified place.
Easy 4,000, 5,000 a month.
Easy.
That place was big.
And we had like the best Chinese food restaurant down the street. Crazy.
I did like that neighborhood.
It was good.
Yeah, it was nice.
And it wasn't too off the beaten path to transportation into the city.
No, there was a bus stop literally right there that could get you to the subway in 5.
Yeah. Crazy. Anyway. So that was the past.
Yeah, okay. But
So,
speaking of the present, which is what you guys are in now listening to this,
yeah.
Lupita and Eric are like becoming not fast friends. Lupita wants nothing to do with them.
Yeah, but Eric
But
wants it to be a couple, and he wants to converge their names into Airpita.
yes, Erpita.
But
Hmm.
Lupita's like, no.
Just like, no, pass. But so they have a fun night in Lupita's apartment because they do find Lupita's apartment and they go in there and they sleep
She
restfully.
has a nice apartment. Sorry.
She does. Can you imagine having sleep apnea and you're snoring,
Ugh.
bringing them into your house? Done.
This was a constant. This is a constant flaw that Dax and I just could not get over this entire time. I'm like, okay, sneezes are unavoidable.
Snoring.
Snoring, you are rolling the dice every time you close your eyes.
Yes, you are.
And it's like you might as well just accept death whenever you fall asleep
Yeah. Because
because
your CPAP machine,
I I'm done. I'm dead. I
me
sound
too.
like a I am not a quiet sleeper.
No.
Also, I woke up screaming the other day.
What?
Yeah. Not if it's not dark at all. It's not like something murderous was happening.
Oh,
I was simply screaming at these strangers who entered the apartment.
John, how are you going to go and say that's not scary?
Well,
Bad
as
shit.
I mean, it wasn't like they were threatening or anything. They were just like in here, and I was like, and I would they were ignoring me, so I started screaming at them to get out. And then I woke myself up, and I was fully audibly screaming. I was like, "How long have I been screaming?"
Oh,
Like it's crazy. Yeah. Anyway, I would have been dead,
right then, toast.
dead, totally dead. Anyway, so the thing, a quiet place. I don't know.
Okay,
You
so
can't
let's
fall
just,
asleep.
no, let's get to the end of this.
Okay, let's get to the end of it. Also,
Let's get,
don't get me started about urinating on things and pooping on things because people be farting.
oh, yeah, they
So,
do.
people do be making bodily noises that are going to attract the monsters.
Can you imagine if a fart killed you? That's what your demise was gas.
or or you're pooping and it's a little noisy.
Right.
Uh, worst.
I just,
Anyway.
I don't even know. I don't even know. I hadn't even considered that. But anyway, so,
Humiliating.
so
Anyway, yeah,
Lu-
let's get to the end.
Lupita and Eric, Lupita leaves her house and she thinks she leaves Eric behind, and she doesn't. Eric's following. And then some more shit happens.
They do eat pizza.
They do end up getting some pizza, but the pizza place that because they made a pact with each other. They're like, you know what, we're gonna stick with each other. And some things that are supposed to be suspenseful
Yeah,
happen in between all of this, and we're
I
not going to get
know.
into it because it kind of it
It
gets drawn
involves,
out.
yeah, it's drawn out, just like endless sequences. They end up in a church. She almost drowns. They drink a lot of whiskey. They eat perfectly fine pizza from somewhere else, which is
From
totally
literally
cool.
around the corner.
Yeah, and they do a vaudeville situation.
Yep.
And then they end up at the South Street Seaport. But guess what?
John, tell me.
I'll tell you, the boat, the ship has already been sailed, but it's still in sight, still in sight, and not a
Yes,
whole
it
lot of
is.
people on that ferry.
Not real. What did you call me?
You know what? You know something about that ferry? Not a whole lot of people on
Which day of the week is it? Because that
it.
is purely dependent.
Exactly. I know.
There are circumstances.
Yeah. It was an off day. It was
Yeah.
a day of rest.
Yes, it wasn't a work day.
Yeah, that ferry is a quiet place.
Yeah, it is. On
Uh,
Sundays, this very a quiet place.
yeah. So anyway, so they're like the last two people on Manhattan, and somehow somehow they're like the okay, yeah, Lupita's like, I'm gonna create a distraction because I'm dying anyway. And you, Eric, take this cat and you make a run for the water, and you swim to that ferry, where the ferry will accept you inside of it.
Yes. The fairies will accept most things inside of them.
As most fairies will. And so yeah, so she takes a tire iron, she's smashing a bunch of windows of all these cars that are in the way, and they have every single last car that she breaks the window to, the person who has vacated it has remembered to set the alarm.
Yes, of course, because you're coming back to your vehicle.
Yeah, in the apocalypse, I am making sure that my alarm is engaged. Anyway, so there all these alarms are going off inexplicably, and Eric with the cat make a break for it. They're running, and then something happens where he makes like a
Fucking
noise.
Eric kicks a can,
Oh
a
yeah,
literal
okay.
can, which is somehow louder than a million car alarms.
Because we have done established that you can make a noise as long as it's drowned out by another noise.
That is a point that they proved in this. They're like, you know what, you can. So this fucking 7 Up can somehow
Draws the
alert
attention. Yeah, it's true.
every alien on the island.
Look, Stranger Things, Travis. Stranger Things.
If only it were.
Because it would have Winona Ryder being
Yes,
hysterical mommy.
right. Yes, yes, yes.
Hysterical mommy.
We love hysterical mommy. Welcome to the stage. Backup Jenny and hysterical mommy. Welcome to the stage.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so he barely makes it into the water. He jumps into the water. These monsters can't be in water because
No, they can't.
they just inhale it.
Not even one of them. Not even they were all able to stop on a dime too. Not even one of them fell into the water. I noticed. I was like, wouldn't one of them at least fall?
Like the momentum and crash,
Yes.
and because they're blind,
I'm like, wouldn't one
Yeah.
of them fall into the water?
No, definitely not at all,
So,
not one
but
bit.
Eric does, and so does the cat. And that poor cat has been through the ringer.
But never somehow appears to never look like a wet cat does.
Also, it never looks scared. It's always just sauntering about.
It is cool as a cucumber, and it is not scratching anybody.
No,
It is not lashing out at
that is a
all.
Lexapro cat.
It's a Lexapro cat. I want what she's having.
Yes,
And
she's having medication.
and she's also having none of that.
No.
So, so yeah, so he makes it to safety, and we cut to Lupita. She has her headphones in, and she's listening to music and on a jukebox, and then she takes the headphones out to self-destruct.
Yep. And the second she takes it out, a creature falls behind her out of a tree, I'm assuming.
A tree, or wherever, out of the sky. We
Out of
literally did a whole like 360 shot of her and saw all the surroundings, no monsters, but there was one lurking
there's always one lurking.
just out of sight.
Yep.
So yeah, the
So the
movie
movie
is
ends.
there, and it was a quiet movie.
It was a quiet movie.
Quiet movie. I think I thought I thought the acting was good.
I also thought the acting was good. There were okay, so let's get into it. We haven't done a
Do
rose.
it.
We haven't done a rose and thorn in a while.
Yeah. What's Travis? Okay, out of all the quiet things that had happened,
Yes.
what's your rose and thorn?
So I think my rose for this movie would be. It has to be the acting.
Yeah, the rose was the acting for me too.
The rose is the acting. Oh, you know what? Actually, sure. Yeah, the rose is the acting.
Yeah, you know what? I just to vary it, the photography was a rose for me.
The photography was good, but
Mhm.
it wasn't like jaw dropping.
It wasn't jaw dropping, but there were a couple of shots where I was like, "This is lit pretty darn good."
Yeah, I did like when they went into the somehow untouched bar.
Yeah,
Like it was pristine.
pristine bar
Anyway,
with pizza.
I did like the way that was shot. It looked cool. It was like hazy. It looked like and it kind of gave me like a dream sequence, like this
Yeah.
nightmare's happening outside, but in here they're in this safe little dream capsule. I enjoyed that scene. My thorn for this movie would be um it kind of doesn't
Yeah.
it kind of doesn't really deliver anything.
Yeah, it would. I mean,
It didn't deliver
it goes through
it.
a lot of motions,
They
you
delivered a
know?
cat to a fairy, which
Cool, awesome. Cat, they have a cat.
and
I
that's
mean,
that's my thorn. So
yeah.
I'm gonna hand it over to you. What's your rose? What's your thorn?
My rose was the photography, the acting. Lupita, she can do no wrong.
No, she's fantastic, literally in
Um,
everything she does. So,
yeah, even if she's in bad stuff, she's the shining little star.
and I wouldn't even consider this bad stuff.
It's not bad stuff, but it's just it
It's a
wasn't a
lackluster stuff.
it's not a horror movie. And you know, for me, okay, A Quiet Place, God love ya, but you are not a horror movie.
No,
You're not a horror movie. You are a science fiction thriller,
yeah,
and which is totally fine.
yes, but
Which
be
is
what you
totally
are.
fine. And maybe A Quiet Place knows that it's a sci-fi thriller, a franchise, but everybody else who sees it in the marketing is like, oh, it's got creatures, it's got to be a horror.
It's like no,
And no,
it doesn't have to be. So, thorn. What's your thorn?
that would be it.
Yes.
So,
So there's
uh,
John's thorn. Okay, so I'm not going to go into too many dirty details because we gave you a rose and a thorn, and you guys can
yeah,
do with those what you will.
yeah,
Out of so out of 10 Michael Bay explosions that were just so out of left field,
yeah, yeah.
it literally, John, no joke. When that car exploded, I was like, the
Michael
fuck?
Bay. That's Michael Bay written all over it.
And I truly was like, okay, weird, because it felt so out of place.
But it also looked exactly like
But it started the movie.
Armageddon. You know
Yes,
how
but it,
Armageddon does?
yeah.
Isn't that a Michael Bay joint? I
Honestly,
think that it is.
if it has things blowing up, like if there are rats exploding, it's Michael Bay.
It's Michael Bay.
So, so out of 10
A rat
random,
explosion.
yeah, rat explosions, John.
Michael Bay would totally come out with a movie called Rat Explosion.
What would you give this? Like out of 10 rats exploding?
You know, I was gonna give it a 5, but I just think I there were some parts where it was lingering on Lupita where it was pulling at my heartstrings a little bit.
She's very good.
She's an effective actress.
She is, because she was able to carry this on her back.
Yeah. So I would say she kicks it. Lupita herself kicks it to a 6.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So Travis, out of 10 marionette uh, marionette boys being guided by a really creepy old man, what would you give it?
John, I'm right there with you. I'm not kidding. I was going to give this a 6. I was thinking earlier, I was like, would I give it a 7? I probably would give it a 6. At most, I would give this a 6.5. So I think I'm going to land there in between a 6 and a 7. And because
Yeah.
Lupita really did an amazing job. And I know this is more than Beetlejuice, but Beetlejuice was so all over the place. And the reason I give this a six and a
Yeah.
half is because the story was very simple. And
Story's
I
there.
love a story that is simple, because here it is. They have two purposes.
Yeah.
Lupita, who's already dying, only wants pizza, could give a fuck after that. Okay.
Yeah.
Eric, when he enters the picture, Lupita's plan is now, let's try and get Eric to safety. I'm going to die anyway. Get them from point A to point B.
And her character, through her interaction with Eric, because the cat knew her soul needed to be saved.
Yes.
so cat saved.
So I appreciated that. And that's why I gave it a 6.5, because story, while the story was simple, but it worked.
It was effective.
It wasn't all over the place. So
Yeah,
6.5 for me.
I was totally on board with her just wanting to get pizza.
Right. Like
it was incredibly emotional because that's like all she has left to look forward to.
Well, and also because that pizza place held like it held like
an emotional time.
Yeah, there was an emotional tie to that pizza place for her. So it was like, if I'm going to go out getting pizza, I want to do it remembering my dad who died from the same thing I'm dying from now. So
Yeah.
a 6.5 for me. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't watch this again.
6.5. Get it.
I wouldn't watch this again though.
Coming in with the decimals.
Yeah, we're gonna do a 6.5 here,
Travis with the decimals.
but it's
Get
not
it.
getting a 7 though.
No, it's not getting a 7. Seven's too high.
No 7, 6.5. I love Lupita Nyong'o. Acting's good. Story
Yeah.
was concise. There we go.
You know what I watched like a week ago? Us, starring Lupita Nyong'o, co-starring with herself.
That movie was a mess.
It's a mess, but still, Lupita elevates it.
And guess what? It was rated R, and I loved it for that because there
Yeah.
was insane.
It
There were
was-
some insane scenes, but that movie's a mess. I like that
Yeah.
movie, but let me tell you,
The logic doesn't compute.
no, I was not tethered to that movie.
Nice. Good one.
So throwing it back. Love Lupita though, because if she is in it, I will watch it. That's a fact.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't.
So
Also, she's doing the voice of the that robot DreamWorks movie.
Oh my gosh, the wild robot.
The wild robot. Lupita
John,
is robot.
Do you know how good that looks?
It looks pretty darn good.
It actually looks like it's gonna win some awards.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna. I'm the first person to admit, like, good animated movies have way stronger stories than a lot of live action movies out there.
Yeah.
Like these DreamWorks and Pixar stories, those things are emotional.
John,
So-
they put so much work and effort into making it, and the wild robot looks so good.
Yeah, and Lupita is the voice of said
I did not
robot.
realize. Okay, there. I'm so there.
We're gonna have to do it right here. It's
We
out right
will.
now.
Is it?
We have so many movies to see, Travis.
Okay,
They're
well,
all
I'm gonna.
out.
Okay, well, I'm gonna do the substance this weekend.
Mhm.
Wild robot, because I imagine there's gonna be a billion kids there. I will do
Ugh.
next weekend.
Gosh, don't go to a matinee.
I'll go on a Monday because
Yeah.
no one's there.
Yeah, children, I can't do that. In
Can I tell
theaters.
you, when I had my tickets for the substance, I checked the day that I had to cancel. Do you know how many people were in that theater?
Huh.
Me and Pat.
Oh my gosh. We had a pretty full theater, and
Literally nobody.
I'll talk about it more whenever we do this movie, but do the substance. But yeah, it was the first time in a really long time that I sat in a movie theater, and there's that moment where in the movie where you realize that everyone around you is experiencing the exact same thing,
Oh shit! It's
and
one of
you feel like connected to the audience.
Oh, see, I'm not going to be connected to the
Mm.
audience because Pat's probably going to be bored out of his mind.
Yeah, like people were audibly gasping, wincing, and making
Oh, no.
sounds. And I was
no. Should I
which-
tell him not? Because he won't. He doesn't like that.
oh,
Wait,
unless you want to
don't
play a
spoil-
fun trick on him.
No, don't spoil it for me. But like, is
Yeah.
it going to be something he?
Oh, it's a lot.
Do you consider this movie a horror movie?
Yeah.
Okay, he's not going. I'm not. I'm going to tell him he can't go.
Does
He
he
will
does he
hate it.
handle gore of any kind well?
I don't think he enjoys it.
Mhm.
Okay,
I would
Okay.
I would proceed with caution.
because I was expecting it to be violent, but I didn't know how much, and so I convinced him to go with me. But now that you're telling me this, he's gonna not go.
I would step forth with like maybe a lot of questions beforehand to see if he's cool.
Oh,
or
no.
maybe have him watch like an old school Cronenberg movie and see how he reacts.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like have him
yeah.
watch Videodrome or something.
right.
Like,
Videodrome was so great. We did that on here, didn't we?
we did.
You know which one we need to? Which one that you need? The Reanimator.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Let's
We-
do it for Halloween.
Oh my gosh, if we were doing
I've already seen it. I've seen the Reanimator.
It's been a long time, but a good double feature would be Reanimator and Scanners.
Oh shit. Okay. If we do a double feature, that's the only one you guys are getting.
Yeah. Sound off in the comments below.
Right.
Or you can email us, meangirlsinterrupted@gmail.com.
Yep.
You can like, comment, subscribe here. I'm starting to pay attention a little bit more to things. Also, shout out to people who are giving us comments on or reviews on Apple Podcasts because
Are people doing that?
we got a really nice one on in August. I forgot the username,
Oh,
but
whoops.
it was really like been listening to these guys for a long time. They're like a part of my everyday and like blah blah blah. So yeah, we have like fans out there.
Hey, hi guys, thanks so much because truthfully, we don't deserve it.
We're just a couple of gays uh talking about movies.
We're a couple of brats, bitch.
Yeah, but I can't wait for our the substance episode because it's
Oh,
like we got to do trailer talk, we got to do movie
okay.
going experience and set like we had a movie going experience.
Okay, set the tone. We'll really
Yeah.
set the tone for the substance, everyone.
Yeah. But Travis, I'm going to have to see you at the movies.
Um, roll the credits. Roll the credits, you alien who is crawling so quick on the upside of a tunnel until you get into the water and then you drown. Do you
Immediately
remember that
dead.
scene?
Immediately died.
But you know, he was still reaching for them.
He was still going hard.
He was going so hard. And you want to know what?
That's life, baby.
If every other alien can stop on a dime on a dock and this alien couldn't realize, then
Yeah.
you know what? He fucking deserved it.
He deserved it. He was one of the stupid ones.
Stupid idiot.
Good
Bye.
goodbye.